Welcome to the Pish Tosh podcast with Emma Red March Rose.
Thank you for listening as I share my interviews with students of the performing arts.
Hey, you want to hear some facts about a group or a team or some one-man acts? Things like leprechaun, cereal, all kinds of other weekly new material, how gingers are inferior, and strategies to fix your brain's interior. Things like pogo sticks, politics, heretics, lucky tricks, topic picks, and ass kicks. An awkward middle name guessing game. Enjoy the show, I'm glad you came. We're striving, conniving, surviving, and high-fiving. We're talking wins and losses. We're feeling like we're bosses. Better buckle up, be cautious, because this might just make you feel solace, or thoughtless, or flawless, or nauseous. A relief for the typecast, a remedy for the overcast, a reward for the steadfast. This is the Pish Tosh podcast.
Today's guest is CJ Darnieder, and not only is he a fellow student of the Second City, but he has also become a dear friend of mine here in Chicago. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and give an triple explicit tag to this episode. But this episode really eats ass, and I hope you enjoy.
Well, I don't have it anymore. I stopped it.
The podcast that we're doing right now?
Because you were going to ask me. Oh. No, you said you were going to ask me about mine.
I am.
Yeah. If you were like giving me an opportunity to plug it, it's no longer.
Oh.
It's like, it's dead, but I could bring it back to life. I'm just choosing not to at the moment.
I'm trying to wait until we're like a full minute into the podcast to make a sex joke.
You make one now.
Well, you just said.
What did I say?
Was it you give? It said I was giving you an opportunity to plug it. That's all. That's the only one. Okay, now we're only at like 40 seconds.
Stick
so
it in.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys.
Yeah.
You listeners out there. I am with my very dear friend,
Ooh.
my new and dear and clear and dear friend CJ. How did he pronounce
Darnieder.
it? Darnieder.
Mm-hmm.
But how did the guy pronounce it?
I'm also known by my other moniker, which is GJ Darnoder.
Oh,
Yeah.
We went to a very classy open mic last Wednesday together at a place called Irish Eyes Pub in Chicago.
I do think it was great though. Your litmus test for whether or not we should stay worked.
In the very beginning?
Emma decided that she was like, I'm just going to play some Fergie, and if
right.
everyone's cool with it, we'll stay.
Right,
Which
right.
I think is...
I heard no complaints.
No, not a single person. I think maybe one old man left because he was watching Wheel of Fortune, and...
It had ended.
It had ended, yeah.
Hopefully.
Or Fergie was the answer, and it got spoiled for him.
Oh, no.
Maybe that was it. Maybe the answer was Fergalicious, and he was like, confound it. I'm so sick of this.
ERGLICIO, and he was like, F, fuck. I should have known.
The entire that was on that.
Gosh.
He's like, I don't know. What's her name again? Stacy something.
Stacey
That's what they
Licious?
call her.
That's awesome.
Hey, Stacy, you're right.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, we went and I apparently it was fine. I thought the guy was nice, but I did think it was strange that he would be like, yeah, so we got a new person and he's shitty at writing, and I was just like, cool, I feel comfortable. And, like, how do you just but then he called me GJ Darnoder, and then I went up on stage and I started, and he's like, is it CJ or is it GJ? And I went, it's CJ. Like, it definitely be wild if it wasn't. And then did you notice when I got off the stage, when I was done, he was like, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for CJ. Like, he didn't say my last name again. He just called me. Like, I was like, am I Cher?
Oh my goodness.
Why do I go? Yeah.
That's so exciting. Exciting. Have you ever thought about going by CJD? CJD?
Do you mean like
as in your
just
CJ and then your last name? Initial?
You're like, what are you confused by? Yeah.
No. CJ's great.
I don't know, CJD is what I like signed for like when I would do side work at work.
Oh,
so I think I would immediately associate.
No, I
associate
that.
it with work. I think. But I do. So I know about your podcast. First of all, let me just say this so that it's on record. You're one of. We haven't known each other super long, but you're like one of my favorite people.
You're one of my favorite
people. Is that real?
That is so
That
real.
makes me so happy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm so glad that you are having me, because I think you are so funny and you are so smart and so talented. So thank you. But I also know from listening to your podcast, because I'm a fan, is that you are going to ask me about my middle name.
I am. I was so excited.
And that's confusing.
I'm already confused.
Because
I woke up confused.
Did you think about it?
I've been
You're like,
confused all day. It's my natural state. I have resting confused face.
I resting confused face.
Yes.
I love that. I have my name that I go by is a combination of my first name and my middle name.
Okay, so I've already got a good hint right there.
Yeah, you
And
think
it's
you
not
do, but nobody ever. It's
not Georgia Josephine
I
O'Keefe.
mean,
Oh, it
maybe
could be.
it's throwing you for a loop. No, it's not Josephine.
Oh.
That'd be incredible, but it's not.
Then you go by Feeny. That's what I would go by. My middle name was Josephine.
Feeny. Yeah, my name's CJ, but people just call me Feeny. And I wrote that on there. He was like, please welcome
awesome.
Feeny Darnieder.
Yes.
And I was just
My
like,
name's Feeny,
that's
I'll be
right.
of service.
I'm Feeny, and I'm funny. My name's Funny
I'm
Feeny, and I'm
so
going to be making
Feeny.
your mouth laugh. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
That
maybe-
wasn't a high five again. Sometimes I smack because I get excited.
You're just like, I want to.
Just one.
It's like the joke is a lightning bug, and you just want to like,
Trap
mine.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
And just like a lightning bug, you want to hold that light and cherish it, but you inevitably kill it.
But what I was gonna say, like
Yeah.
you much like I imagine you do with lightning bugs. You're just like, I love you, and then it's dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Oh, yes.
But yeah, no, my so I do want you to guess my middle name because you
do
say you're bad
want
at
to.
guessing too.
I am.
Yeah. Because you think it's easy, but here I'm going to tell you an absolutely factual story.
It'd be funny if you just said your name just then.
I'm going to tell you an
I'm gonna
absolute
tell you
factual
an
story.
actual story. It's Jacob.
Wait, what did you guess?
Jacob.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's fucked. Nobody ever guesses it on their first try. That's wild.
You're really funny, Feeny. What is it really?
It's Jacob.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
We're going to fight right now.
You
it's
think I'm
not.
lying?
Is
No.
it not?
It is.
Yes, it is. I mean,
Christopher Jacob Darnieder is my full name.
oh my God.
And I kid you not when I told you that I was serving a group of 8. Yeah, you cracked the code. Here's the thing: is that
It's like Christmas right now.
I'm proud of you, but I'm also more disappointed in
With
that
everyone
everybody
else.
else not being able to get such a common
That's
name.
why we're such good friends immediately,
Because
CJ.
you saw it.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
but there's
so funny.
these 8 girls that were like, and people do it all the time when I'm just like, hi, I'm CJ and I'll be your server today, and they're like, what does like J stand for? And I'm just like, oh, if you guess, I'll give you a martini or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's like, oh my God, martini. And so like literally that's all they're talking about the whole time. A bus, like 20 minutes maybe had gone by, maybe half an hour, and the busser who was working that night came up to me and she goes, hey, what's your middle name? And I went, why? And she's like, oh, your table and back was asking about it. And I went,
Wow.
mm-mm. And I went back and I called them out and I would say, you should be ashamed of yourselves, ladies. You, and they're just
Each
like, oh
and
my
every
God,
one of you.
we got fucking found out.
You
Like,
cheaters.
and I'm just like, and then I gave them the martini anyway because I thought it was real, because I thought it was
that's
funny.
nice.
I thought it was hilarious that they
Yeah.
like were like, oh, let's ask
It
the.
mattered that much.
But like, it's Jacob. It's such a common name, and people will go so far,
Yes.
and they'll like repeat, like they'll be like, "Oh, Jeremiah." They'll say it 3 times. I'm like, "How did you get Jeremiah
God.
3 full times
Yes,
before
and
your
still not
brain
get to
synapses
Jacob.
into
Wow.
Jacob?" But I don't know what you got. Is it a little Instagram post? Oh,
That is hilarious. We were just talking about this. I didn't ruin this podcast.
no, not at all. It's going amazing.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like by making that statement, it was very misleading because no, it's not.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
I left it on airplane mode. After we just talked about it, nothing happened. We're clear.
Oh, thank God.
But that's
Okay.
Emma's silliness.
Yeah.
There's always like 3 mistakes I make, and if I don't make 2 of them, I make the
Life
third
finds a way.
If life finds a way. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet gold blue.
We did it!
Yes.
We got there. There is an amazing chain of memes. You like Jeff Goldblum?
I do.
You like memes?
Yeah, absolutely.
You like Lizzo?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a
I was not expecting that one came out of left
I
field.
know. Here's how they're intertwined.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's
Puzzle.
a chain of memes that is all like the lyrics to Lizzo's "Boys," and it's different pictures of Jeff Goldblum. So it's like I
my
like big
God.
boys, itty bitty boys, and it's all Mississippi boys, and it's like Jeff Goldblum in like a 10-gallon hat.
Hilarious.
It's really amazing.
Oh my God, I'm finding this.
Yeah, I'll share it with
Wow.
you. It's super funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I love people. The internet's wild. Like memes in general are they're very strange, and I don't know why they even make me laugh sometimes when I look at them. I'm just like,
Right.
what's going on?
There's an art there.
There's
that
a,
I don't fully understand.
Yeah, there's an art, and there's also like a mutual understanding of the subject that I think is like expressed in such a specific way that's why you're laughing. Is you're like, if this was said any other way, like it wouldn't be funny, but it's like,
and it's like a visual stimulus. But if you were to compare it to like food, it's almost like mixing two foods together in the exact right quantity, and it just sparking like, oh, that's a delicious meme.
That's actually true.
Like, I'm familiar with this taste. I'm familiar with this taste.
Like,
but we're just kind of
like when you do
flavor.
Have you ever had prosciutto with cantaloupe?
I never have.
That's a meme.
Is it good?
Yes, it's delicious. I would highly recommend it with like a little bit of balsamic and some basil.
I don't know if it'd make me laugh though.
No, but it would be like, maybe it's like a sad meme.
Maybe.
Do those exist? Like bummer memes?
I'm in a group on Facebook called In Bad Taste Memes.
But are those sad? Or are they just in bad?
Some of them are very sad.
Really?
Yeah, but they make us all laugh.
See, that's the thing, is that if they make you laugh, are they bad?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're, no, I think
That's a good question.
Like the guy who got up and was just like, my mom, the whole time.
Yeah,
like that.
I didn't know where that was going.
The whole time he was just like,
we went to an open mic, to a stand-up comedy open mic last Wednesday. It was so great.
It was great.
There was a dude who got up. He looked like he had been crying for years. He looked so young though, and he was basically telling us that his mother had passed away when he was like 15.
Yeah, I think
and
it was
he
more
like
recent. I think it was more recent than he.
It had to have been.
I feel like he had a joke, if you want to call it that where he opened it with like that it had happened like a year ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good way to describe him. He looked waterlogged. Like that's how bad he had been crying.
Like someone had tried to drown him.
His face was like pruning.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
That's what was happening. This poor kid.
We don't mean to laugh, but
I wanted to laugh.
Yeah.
He was trying to get laughs.
That's the thing, is like we don't mean to laugh, but like
that's what he
was
wants.
trying. Yeah, I think he was trying to make people laugh.
But I just wanted to give him a hug and like cradle him and be like, "I'm your new mom.
Yeah,
it's gonna be okay."
That probably would have went really well.
Probably.
You should have done it.
Just tried to nurse him on
like
stage.
whipped a titty out, and just been like, does it taste similar?
CJ and I have the same brain.
It's
so weird. I don't know.
I don't know if you can feel this electricity, but it's there. Bam, bam.
So CJ and I met, it was not long ago, June 29th, I believe. I did my research.
How do you know the day?
To the T.
You know the day.
It was 10:15.
We met at a dog park.
We did. The dog beach park.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no dogs. Surprisingly, not enough dogs for that day.
They weren't allowed. I think they were all in the water.
I know, I was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, we met on apparently June 29th.
June 29th.
Well, we were both sad about the dogs. We were both like, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we didn't really get to hang out with any dogs. There was plenty of ants.
That's true.
On the pizza, yeah.
That's right.
And then my phone almost caught fire.
That's right.
That also happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good day.
You know the sound guy?
Yes.
I walked to the train with him.
What train did you take? Oh, you were going back to Pilsen, right? Or no? Where were you going at that point in your life?
Maybe nowhere.
Were you taking
Where was I going?
Wherever the wind took me.
Nowhere. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it was Pilsen. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. It was the weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend. Yeah. So we met. It was for a short film shoot.
Yes.
As we are actors.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes. Should I? And let me yes and that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I was in a thing, and you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, and other stuff.
Yeah.
It's just weird feeling like
calling yourself an actor.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
We've talked about
yet.
that. Yeah,
yes.
Like I don't know how, because I wanted to be one for so long and then wasn't for so long, and now like I'm on that trajectory again. It feels really. This in and of itself, everything right now is sometimes like it hits me and I'm just like, this is a dream, right?
Oh my God, I feel the same way.
Yeah. Like because you think of it in a dream concept all the time. We're saying this because we're sitting in Second City right now. I'm sitting in where I have my Writing 1 class.
Right.
I said right there. Always right there.
Oh, nice.
2 weeks in a row. You know how it is, you like pick a spot and you're like, I'm never leaving this spot.
Yes.
No matter what, for whatever reason. But when people ask me like how my first class went, it was like, I don't even understand. Like being in the building, there was like this, something came over me where I was like, I've talked about this for so long and been the person that just talks about it, like talk, and now I'm here, and it's like, this is normal. This is like my normal now.
Right.
So it just feels like I try to be like really grateful of like that moment.
I'm so glad we're here. We made it. And
same.
it's so neat that you're going to the Second City.
Yeah.
We met before, I don't even know if we had talked about it much that day.
We talked about it a little bit. Yeah, because
but
I had at that point, I don't know if I had signed up for my class, but I had fully intended, like I was moving still. I don't think I had gotten my apartment, or maybe I had, I don't know. But
you've only been in the city about a month, right?
Yes, I moved in August.
Awesome.
The August 1st, yeah. Loving the city. I did watch a man mush a rat with a brick.
I love it's a Chicago fairy tale.
So yeah,
really.
I told this
instead of like the animals talking and like offering
it might have said help
and
me
helping
beforehand. It might have squeaked out a little. I have children. But we'll never know. I don't speak rat. But
that's
pretty much
awesome.
what it is. Yeah, I never saw Ratatouille. I don't know how it works.
No. But you, if it was Ratatouille the rat, I know you didn't see the movie, but
I'm glad there's not going to be a sequel.
Absolutely. And once the rat, you said, was smushed.
Yes.
By this homeless fellow.
Yes.
What did you say it looked? You thought he was doing?
Okay, so the real thing, the real situation, because I told this story
I thought it was a
on
damn
stage,
lie.
and you thought it was a lie.
I was like, that was a funny joke
Every
lie.
single one of I try to make all of my jokes somewhat serious. Like they were based in reality. And it was true that I was loving Chicago, and then I did watch a man mush a rat with a brick. And the reason I say mush and not kill was because I think that the rat, literally my first thought when I saw it was, I felt very determined when I saw it too. I don't think I said this on stage, but I was just like, yes, I am ready for this. This is my hazing ritual into Chicago. I will watch this happen, and I will be okay with it.
You were surrendering to what was about to happen.
It was as if it was like a hazing, thing where I was just like, oh yeah, I am anointed by the city now. Like now I am a true Chicagoan because I have seen this.
And it's always the homeless people that gift that.
I don't know if he was homeless.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I guess
he could have had a very dirty home somewhere. I don't picture him as a clean man. No, nothing against homeless people at all, but
yeah, no, he was fine.
It's hard to stay clean when you're homeless. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay clean when you're mushing rats.
Absolutely, it's dirty work.
It's dirty work, but somebody's got to do it. It was the one job that they didn't do on the show. Dirty jobs.
Yeah, dirty jobs.
Like,
that's what it is.
Too dirty.
Yes.
Yeah, not enough bricks. Too many rats. Too dirty.
Yes. We're gonna be here all day.
The trifecta.
Yes.
But yeah, the rat, I think, I am convinced was already dead when he mushed it. So it literally looked like he was just kind of. So the joke is that's like what I think Chicago's think pesto is. That it's just such a stupid joke.
I love that joke because it's a ratatouille. He would probably love to make pesto.
I feel
like if his dying wish was to make pesto, then that would be how he would want to go.
It's like that's the sequel.
That would be how he would want to pest go. Because it's
Pesco.
a rat.
Pest go.
Our fingers
Goodbye,
are telling
pest.
the story also.
Do you get it? Do you understand?
Oh.
That would actually be a really good like a Lars von Trier version of Ratatouille, where like he's just normally making like a soup, but then he falls into a mortar and pestle, and then they just like grind him into.
It's so funny that
I don't know
we're
why I
talking
think that's
about
funny.
this. It is funny because this reminds me of the commercial coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
commercial.
This is a great product.
Yes.
Everybody try it. It's delicious.
Ooh, can't wait.
Here at Pestgo Pesto, we provide a unique combination of services just for you. If you suffer from animal nuisances in and around your home, for example, rodents, cockroaches, pigeons, or raccoons, then give us a call. If you enjoy 3 square meals a day delivered right to your doorstep once a week, then we're the service for you. It's locally sourced, it's inexpensive, and it's fun for the whole family. Our team of exterminators come right to your house, extract the animals, and bring them back to our laboratory/kitchen to transform them into something delicious. Call Pestgo Pesto today. Yummy.
Delish.
I'm gonna
my
order
stomach's
that.
growling.
Yeah.
Much like the animals used in that product.
The ghosts
The
of the
growling.
animals.
Yeah. Is that you in there?
Oh,
Lil?
he's pointing to his tongue.
Knock, knock. You'll get out soon enough, buddy.
Nice.
Just not the way you came in.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, that's food for you.
That's right.
Always turning into shit.
Oh my God, I know. Never in my days.
Never.
Oh.
Yeah. So we met on the set of
Short film.
yeah. Are we allowed to say the title?
I don't know.
It might not even be real.
Did we imagine all of that too?
It's possible. It is highly possible that it was a fever dream.
It could have been. It's the best fever dream.
It's continuing.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
all like we'll both wake up
They're
and we'll be in
gonna-
our respective like
just
old
gonna be
homes.
in
But
dead air.
that would
when
actually
the podcast
be
comes out.
really sad.
That would be sad.
That'd be really sad.
Be like,
That's a sad meme.
That is a sad meme.
There you go. Share that on Instagram. Get a couple of likes.
Instagram sound.
Yeah. That's what I envision Instagram sounds
Yeah.
like.
That's funny. Does Instagram have sounds really?
It does when you don't want it to. Like if you're scrolling through and the videos.
Yes, and you accidentally listen to one and then
You
you have to listen to a bunch of
and you
them?
can't rewind an Instagram video,
No, I
which I
hate that.
think is still a way to get like something will say that it has like a tasty video on Instagram or whatever will have like 14 million views, and it's like it actually only has 1 million. People just want to make your fucking food, and they need to watch
They
it
have to watch the whole thing.
100,000 times
That
in order to
sucks.
make your fucking garlic chicken cheesy pizza bread.
Yes.
And then it ends up being like flavorless because they never add salt and pepper.
That's right.
I don't mean to call tasty
And
out in such an
soundless.
aggressive way, but they also loop their music over and over again. This is like I'm like bashing Tasty.
Oh my God, that's
It drives me
awesome.
nuts because I'll watch.
They're not a sponsor.
like
Fuck them.
Well, they never will be.
Nope,
not anymore.
Nope.
There's like a 14-minute video on like one pot like chicken meals or whatever, and it'll just be like the same like. And I'm a musician too, so I pay attention to that stuff. It's like the same horn riff over and over again, and I'm just I
God.
can't.
It's exhausting.
I don't care about this chicken tetrazzini anymore.
No.
Turn off.
Yeah, I guess I don't think Instagram does have any sounds. I feel like if it did, I would know them because I repeat sounds.
Oh, like bloops.
Yes, like
a
on
bloop
Facebook.
or a
like,
whiz. That's good.
I do that sometimes so when my phone's dead, so that people think I'm doing.
Oh, you should do that on stage. You should do that on stage, and you should be like, here's my impression of a fuckboy. And then you just make that
Yes!
noise like
Oh
over and
my
over
God,
again.
that'd be
Yeah, that'd be
great.
good.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just do it like twice, like with 2 short pauses, and then wait for the laugh to break, and then do that like repeatedly. Yeah, just like that.
That'd be fantastic. Oh my gosh. Ding, ding, ding. Oh no.
I don't really know anything about fuckboys.
Oh.
They weren't around when I was
Single?
when I was single.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's been so long.
It's
But-
not great.
Yeah, I mean, I know of them because
Yeah.
like girls come to me and they're just like, "What do I do? I love him," and I'm like, "He's
Ooh.
a trash monster. You should
Right.
grind him up."
Oh.
I'm making a.
Eat 'em
I'm
sound.
making this
Grind 'em
room
up
makes me.
into
I was making a hand gesture. This room makes me make that gesture because you know
Oh.
that's my when I introduce myself. You know how you make the
Oh my gosh,
everybody.
the gesture that goes with your name and your introduction. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was your gesture.
Mine
You were
is-
telling me, yeah.
Yeah, because mine's food because I like eating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Eating's great.
I love eating.
Oh, so
Yeah.
did you do theater in high school?
Yeah, I did it in high
Is
school.
that when your theater performing started, or was it younger than that? As a baby in the womb, you were just putting on shows?
You know, I have no idea. I have no recollection of what my past lives were because I'm a full firm believer in that.
Reincarnation?
Well, there was like this. There's this Reddit post a while back that was like, "What if when you die, the white light that you see is
The vaginal
yeah,
wall?
the opening,
Opening?
and then the baby's crying because they are realizing that they're being reborn, and like the memory of their entire past life is like dying,
Dissolving into
yeah,
nothingness.
and that's why they come into the world crying.
That's interesting.
I don't really believe that, but I think
No.
that that's like a wild concept.
That's exciting.
And
I
it's-
love any new ideas.
Yeah, and when I read it, I was like,
absolutely.
oh, I mean, that just
interesting.
makes as much sense as anything else.
Right.
So I'm
That's a
going to
great
go
way to
ahead
put
and
it. Yep.
going to go ahead because it's very poetic and strange. So I associate with that. But
Definitely. I mean, I feel like that's what I feel like about belief is like,
Yeah.
it's up to the individual. You believe
Sure.
in what you believe in, and,
And I mean-
nobody can really argue with that.
right, and for
If there's no, proof.
belief for me is very like proof based though. For me to like actually believe something,
Like truly.
I would like proof.
Yes.
But concepts, however, they're ephemeral. Like throw them in the air, toss them around.
have fun with
do a
them.
little. Is this dribbling?
Sometimes that's
This is
beautiful.
dribbling.
You know, a basketball
Here,
player.
have some religion.
Yes.
Yeah.
There. I'm open.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm closed off. I'm atheist. But
it's like there's a stand-up comedian, Tim Minchin, that says somebody came to him about religion and they said,
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, you show me. Yes.
Do you only believe in what you have proof for? And they
Yes.
said, well, yes.
Yes.
And then he said, well, what about love? And he said,
Right.
well, yeah, I do have proof for love. Love without proof is stalking.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. I was like,
It's funny.
That's perfect.
Yeah, love without proof. Because the other person, you believe it together.
Right.
It's like a mutually agreed upon
Absolutely.
belief that manifests itself into reality.
Oh, we should be philosophers. Like physicians.
It sounds comfortable. You
does.
can wear those floor length
Cardigan type outfits?
carry around tablets.
Ooh, that sounds great.
Preach.
Can you put the patches on your elbows? Is that what philosophers wear?
Yeah, that's what happened
Those are the tweed jackets, though.
The
You wear that over your cardigan.
the tweed jacket over the cardigan, and then underneath it's just like leather daddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
Either get with it or I guess just don't believe me anymore. But I guess that's your option. Is
My
just
way or the
walk
highway.
away. Yeah.
The higheway's great.
Highway. Yeah. It's completely clear.
Yeah,
No traffic.
exactly.
Smooth sailing.
Have
right
fun.
on. Yeah. Enjoy Catholicism. But yeah, no. I started. I think. I was always really performative, like as a kid, but I didn't really perform. I think the first.
Just in your day to day, you were.
Yeah. I definitely there was definitely Mom, watch me beat Peter Pan. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah.
And I was
fun of your child.
Well, that's what they did,
Oh my God.
Glasses of wine in hand. Like, look at the fucking idiot. He loves loons. Who likes loons?
Oh my God.
I loved loons.
What are loons?
The animal, the bird. So here's the thing, nothing has really changed.
That's like
but
a British way to say crazy people.
Yeah.
Like those loons.
As a kid I was just like, oh man, take me to the
loon
the
farm.
loony bin.
The loony bin.
Which to me when I was a kid sounded great because I'm just like, there's a bin full of loons.
But if this were British, that would be like garbage can full of crazy people.
And for me, it was just like a petting zoo full of birds.
Oh.
I love me a loony bin.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. So I loved birds when I was a kid, and then it was like I loved cow. I was a vegetarian when I was a kid too, because I loved animals so much.
Yeah.
But like I was like obsessed with cows, and then it was birds, and then it was whales. It was
love animals
Me too.
Killer whales or what kind of whales?
Yeah. What kind of whales are we talking about?
Yeah, I love
Do you like
killer
porpoises?
whales.
I like porpoises.
I watched Free Willy like 100 times.
And
I just wanted to pet
know.
his giant tongue.
Yeah.
So it looked like the most satisfying thing in the world. Like just pat
Because
it.
it was all like it like
I wanted to take a nap on it.
it looked like a bunch of other mini tongues.
Yeah.
That too, which I liked.
That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, Free Willy. It came with, if you bought the DVD, or not the DVD. It wasn't DVD at that time.
VHS.
VHS. They had like the shark necklace too that it came with, or like the whale tooth necklace,
And Michael
which I was just like,
Jackson
this is a
did the
real.
soundtrack
Oh, that song gives me
that
life.
child
So
movie.
many key changes.
Yes.
Just like I'm only human. Yeah, it's really good.
You were my brother. There's a video of me pretending like I was Free Willy last year when I was.
How did that
16.
go?
It's not an attractive video. It's basically like me beaching myself on the side of a pool and then releasing tons of water out of my mouth and nose at the same time in like a. I'll have to find it. I'll throw it on the YouTube.
Oh my God! Is it literally just like 6 seconds long?
Yeah, that's about all it is.
You
I
do
was
know that
drinking
one
that
day you're gonna need to hire somebody to take that stuff, cut that kind of stuff down.
I was thinking about.
Or you want to keep it
that.
all up? You probably want to keep it all up.
I'll probably keep it all.
I think
up.
it's
Fuck
funny.
it. I'm not gonna be like president.
Yeah,
She said.
Oh,
little
caught
did we
two.
know.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible now. Truly,
That's right.
we've learned. Oh yeah.
I would sacrifice myself right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if
die,
somebody was like,
but-
"Hey, do you want to be president?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I think if you're literally telling me I could, and then he wouldn't be anymore,
Oh,
then
yeah.
I would say yeah,
Yeah, snap my fingers.
yeah." And I go.
And I go.
First thing we're gonna do,
Find a first lady.
office, gonna be a circle. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Corey will be my first lady. Right, Corey?
Yeah.
He's listening.
Yeah, he'll do it.
He's such a wonderful.
And then I'll just be, yeah, he is.
I'm sorry, I just whispering.
I listened to, I told this to you already, but I listened to your podcast with Corey, and I thought it made me so excited to meet him, so excited for you that you found someone so amazing, and then also I did turn it off because it was too cute.
Sappy,
it was
like syrup.
Too cute. But then I went back and
sweet,
listened to
like
it.
Carolina sweet tea.
It just made me my fiance Will was at work, and I was just like,
congratulations
thank
too
you.
for being engaged.
Thank you. I do this, and then it's literally just like a tattoo.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She has a tattoo of a little sweet little bean.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little bean. I
on
call
his
him
finger
Bean.
there. I love that.
Yeah. It's my favorite word in the English language. So
Bean.
that's why, I started calling him that. It's just like a great word. Ham
You
is.
say, where you been? Where you been?
No, because I know where he been.
Oh.
Yeah.
He been next to me.
He been. If he been anywhere else, he been a lot of hurt.
You'll find him next to me. We just got some more class.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny.
Great.
Yeah, no, shout out to Will though. He's my actually it's so funny that this is so I love him.
Yes, hello Will.
You and Corey are have an amazing relationship. I have an amazing relationship
Yes,
with Will,
you
but it
do.
is very different.
Ooh.
And in the sense that like we are very similar in a lot of ways, but in ways that I think is very like good for us. We're like polar opposites.
Oh.
So I sent him a text today. You know how to text today. I was like writing some jokes, and I got really like in my head about it, and was like, "Fuck," because I'm realizing now I'm kind of like I'm a sexual comedian, which it's fine, and that's what I think is funny.
Me too. I'm a sexual person.
Yeah.
I'm a sexual comedian.
Yes.
Like it's who I am.
And I don't think that there's anything, inherently bad with that,
No.
but I think that there are like complications that go along with it.
You have
of course,
to be careful.
because people, get easily squirmy, and then you can't just be like, "Oh, fuck you! I'm going to talk about my gaping asshole anyway." It's like, well, no, it's like
you have to kind of consider like the audience, which I never want to do. It's like I want to make everyone happy, but I want to say what I want to say regardless of everything else in the universe.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great, but I think that what I found was like the balance of like, because in reality you're like, I want to write jokes about sex all the time is great, but then if that doesn't come to you naturally, then you're also challenging yourself too, which I think is important. So if you're like, well, maybe I should write like a few like clean jokes,
or
maybe I
work
should
around
political
your
jokes
strong
or
suit.
yeah,
See what else you can
exactly
kind of like dig around a little bit, not the low hanging fruit,
right?
Like what you're used to doing.
Yeah,
that's a great way to look at it. Definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I doing my online stand-up classes kind of taught me too a little bit to like, because I did one-liners, and when we did one-liners, I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate one-liners. I'm gonna be so bad at it. And
that's what I don't think I would be, because mine are all story-based, like a lot of yours too.
Yes,
They're short stories,
that's most of what I had done was stories, but
Yeah.
I loved writing one-liners.
Oh, good.
It was
I'm gonna have to try that
it was
too.
so easy too. Not like easy, like they were all funny. Like
No,
they weren't all
but you
keepers.
could get 'em out, yeah.
But it was. And even the great thing about writing even just one-liners is sometimes it's just like a premise. Like I wrote one that's literally just like, porn is bad for you, which is pretty obvious considering the amount of people that are just watching them, like people fuck their stepchildren. Because that's like what most porn
like
is.
90% of
Yes,
it.
it's like
wow.
people watching
Yes.
people. Yeah,
Oh my
and it's like
gosh.
sometimes it's like the step part is capitalized,
Yes,
so it's like
all caps.
you know that they're not related, but we know that you kind of want them to be.
Right? Oh my god, that's perfect.
So that's like sort of like that was like the one-liner,
and
but
it's
it's
also
like
pointing out a social.
and it's a big premise, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's awkward," but it's like it's not awkward because 10 million people have watched this one video that says that it's like a stepfather's. It's so calling you out here on this
Gotcha.
society. It's gotcha. Yeah.
Like at least if there's 10 people in the audience, at least one or two of them.
Yeah, but I think
watch that.
I think that the reason people feel uncomfortable with like sexual humor in general, though, is because they have shame.
Right.
And that...
Thanks, Catholicism. We'll throw that on the bus one more time.
Yet again, right. The only roadblock on the highway.
That's right.
Catholicism.
The love highway.
The love highway.
Just speed bumps along the way.
And I do think that there's like...
speed bumps on the highway.
Could you imagine?
It's a terrible fucking highway.
Fucking GTA, just people flying through the air into trees. Like, wow, this is wrong.
Oh my God. I can't think of the theme song from the Daisy Dukes. What is that show? The Dukes of Hazzard?
I grew up in the North.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Nobody listening to this game.
I have no... that reminds me, I feel like we're going just all of... This is... I should preface this too. I absolutely knew this was going to happen when we were going to sit
100%.
down and start talking.
This has been all morning. This is not us first sitting down for this interview either.
We have had, even though we're talking at a speed as if we have not seen each other in years.
Yeah, like this is a breath of fresh air right now. No, we've been doing this for
hanging
hours.
out for about 2 hours now.
Oh man.
But it's another thing too, just like normalizing porn. Like I think porn is great and people get so fucking weird about it.
Oh,
but
and it's so, you know what I've gotten in the habit of watching? And by gotten in the habit of, it makes it sound like it's a new thing, but it's actually something that I've been doing probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Is cartoons, which sounds creepy.
Cartoon porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, nobody gets hurt. There's voice actors working.
Oh.
And there's artists working and getting paid. And I'm like, those are such hard industries to break into, is voice acting and artistry, animation and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's like, what a massive market if this became more popular and there's no women or men or anyone being physically harmed or objectified.
That's an amazing point.
You know, and so it's like, it's almost like guilt-free porn for me.
Right.
Like, I love the cartoons. And also it's like, it can go wherever your imagination can go.
I was just going to say, I mean, they can move.
The world's your oyster.
And they usually do move at rapid speed.
Yeah,
Inhuman speeds.
Yeah.
Doing things that I'm just like,
yeah,
that isn't, because I've seen it.
It's wrong.
I watch
in a good way.
Proportionally, it is.
Nobody has 8 breasts. That is also a human. Oh my God.
Trust me, I've looked.
Yeah, cats have 8 breasts, I guess.
Yeah, but we don't. Unless it's a cartoon, we don't watch that.
Unless it's a cartoon.
And then fully
guilt-free. Oh God.
and then like immediate.
Oh my God. Regrets.
You ever seen Puss in Boots?
Oh man. Wait, which one?
Pussy in Boots.
That's right. Oh my God. Oh,
but I know
Michael Mouse.
I will. God. I have
Daffy Dick. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Can I tell you that I came up with I used to do this thing where I would come up with porn, just like porn parodies of whatever, of just any movie.
Yes.
And I came up with a pegging one for Cinderella.
Oh my God.
We were sort of talking about pegging.
Yeah, we were talking about pegging.
Pegging is where when somebody wears a strap on and then fucks the person. Usually it's a woman wearing a strap on and is fucking a man. But obviously.
Yeah, but that's because of society.
Yeah, sure.
Statistically.
So I thought of a Disney parody of Cinderella called In Her Fella.
In Her Fella. Oh my gosh. In Her Fella.
In Her Fella.
In Her Fella. Oh.
It's so terrible. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, do the dishes and the pegging,
Cinderella. And by the dish, I mean put the strap on in the dishwasher and turn it on. Because it's filthy.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. If you're at somebody's house,
so anyway, when I was a kid, I used to do it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm
That's
crying.
too much. That's too much.
Good. We got real sexy there.
We do gotta go back. We gotta go back. Because we were talking about cartoon porn.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Which is great.
This is the only shame part. It's like children, animals. Anybody that can't consent, we gotta just steer clear as comedians.
But I will say, in general, for porn, is my only rule with porn is if the thumbnail looks interesting, I'll click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched not recently, but it was a guy eating Fruit Loops. I don't know the guy's ass. That was pretty wild.
Sounds delicious.
Well, and there was
Fruit Loops.
It was very. It didn't seem a very conducive way, because
no,
it's not
probably not about the Fruit Loops. Probably, I guess that's what I immediately thought.
Sure,
I was like, oh, is it just eating Fruit Loops and that's the way?
And I was thinking of it maybe in the wrong way. I was like, oh, this is like a Bon Appetit video instead of like a sexy video.
Oh,
I'm like, this is how you make
like
Fruit Loops.
tastily.
yeah, exactly.
No,
like another tasty video.
More time.
And I'm just like, is that bowl an anus or is it a?
Got me again.
Is that Kate Spade? No, it's an anus.
Rachel Ray. Oh my God.
I bet
Snoop
her
Dogg
anus tastes like oregano. Never mind. EVOO. EVOO. Yeah.
Who's that?
Rachel Ray. She would always say EVOO.
What does that stand for?
Extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a different video.
Or wait, maybe. We really gotta get off this.
Oh my God, we gotta
so,
get this off.
Yeah, I feel like
We gotta change
I gotta
the
get
subject.
off.
Yeah,
now,
oh my God.
all this conversation. Will you excuse
I'm
me
so
while I
glad
get
you're
off?
engaged to a man and I am seeing a man and that they're both such understanding men that we can just talk.
I don't know if he's gonna
nasty.
I don't know. He's probably gonna be like, that when he hears it, he's gonna be like, "You're not sharing this with like everybody, right?"
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're like, "Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am."
There we go.
There we are.
This is my mouth.
Yeah, you know it well.
Yep.
You know it like the back of your tongue, because that's what maps it out in your brain. Anyway,
How
so
do you reach his brain from the back of his mouth?
life finds a way.
So
okay,
yes.
so let's get the
performance
origin
thing.
story.
That
Yeah,
sounds
just
good.
tied up here. But yeah, no, I did.
You were reincarnated, burst out of your mom.
Burst out of my mom, cried because ancient Egypt is so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Wanted to be a tree again.
yeah, I was just, I just got all my food from the sky. But that threw me for a loop. That's saying that sentence out loud. I did in high school. I was really big into the clarinet.
Oh, that's
super
awesome.
cool. Yeah, so cool. So I played a lot of that, and then I had a really bad audition experience that kind of like turned me off of performance.
Sorry.
It's okay. It happens. So it turned me off of performance a little bit. At least to that aspect.
Was that a clarinet audition or was that like a musical? Oh,
Yeah, it was a musical audition. Didn't go my way, and I'm just like, I'm fragile. Like I'm a
good on you for trying.
I'm a small,
Most people don't make it to the audition.
I gotta say too, like honestly, classical musicians, like I couldn't do it. It's like they turn you into a robot, and I don't even necessarily mean that in a bad way because classical music is so beautiful. Yes, but you are literally, I have a flute friend who is from Milwaukee, but she lives in Chicago, and we hung out a couple times, and she put it best, where it's just like, you literally they like plug you into an orchestra, and there's no like real expression or anything necessarily. Right. It's like, do the movements, do the gestures.
Yeah, there's no creative license at all.
Right. So, in hindsight being 2020, it's like, I feel kind of lucky that I don't necessarily, that my life didn't go in that trajectory.
Right.
And I still get to like love and appreciate classical music. But, so then I started doing theater. My first performance was The Diary of Anne Frank.
Ooh.
Hilarious. Just kidding.
Oh, no. Who did you play?
I was the love interest, Peter.
My
so
ex played a Nazi in Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah, very on brand.
Yeah, he turned out to be. Anyway.
Right. Not quite a Nazi, but what's below that?
Yeah.
I did that. I did a couple. It just was school things, and then I got out into the real world and did a couple of like community theater things, and I knew that comedy was my strong suit because I could feel it in my person. It felt more organic to just be silly, and there's something about comedy too where I feel like you get instant gratification.
Oh, I love that.
Whereas like drama is like, people might come up to you afterward and be like, that's amazing, but in the moment, you really don't know.
No.
Like, there's no
Somebody
one
could be
there to
crying
validate
silent
you.
tear and be loving your performance, but you don't know that.
Or yawning.
Yeah, that's true. You could be doing great or terrible, and you have no recollection until the end.
You have to like sort of like trust in the process a little bit more than, whereas with comedy, I think you can kind of start from blank, and then you can do something, realize that thing is working, and then
modify
I will go towards that thing. Whereas
absolutely.
with drama, you just have to make a choice and trust it. And then if it doesn't work, well, there goes your 10-minute monologue. Which is kind of what happened to me. I did a show called The Laramie Project in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah, which was great. It was amazing. But I had a monologue where the show is about Matthew Shepard, and he was, infamously, I guess, beaten to death, tied to a post for being gay. And I had a monologue. It was like maybe a 2-page monologue about the kid who found him. And up to that point, it was all like yuck, yuck, yuck. Not in the show, but like in my life, I was just like, wow,
fun,
comedy,
silly stuff.
funny. Or at least, nothing had been that serious before.
No, that is an incredibly heavy role.
Yeah, so I knew I wasn't doing it right. Like, I could feel myself doing it wrong. And also, like, the director, too, was kind of just like, I gotta work. How are we gonna get this ready? And there was, like, one moment where I felt confident with it, but every other time I did it, I could feel myself. Do you ever, have you ever had that moment when you're acting and then something turns on, and even though you're saying the words and you think you're a different character, you're like, oh, I know I'm me right now. Yeah. Yes,
absolutely. That's a terrifying feeling.
And the minute you did it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm
out of it.
I'm bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I failed.
Yep. And it's such a reinforcing. It's like it's a downward spiral from there real quickly.
Yeah. Because I think there's a tell probably on your face or in the way that you start talking, and then
as soon as that thought comes, there's when the tell comes right afterward.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. So that was sort of like another thing where I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to do that anymore. So there's like a common.
But that's good self-awareness too, is that you know when you're in and out of it too. Some people I think don't know the difference.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that I let it in both aspects, and a lot of aspects. It's like been a kind of a theme in my life that I'm trying to get away from. Yeah. Is that I crumble under adversity. Instead of like pushing through because I don't believe in myself enough.
Right.
And now I do.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this was, how long ago was the
That was, I was maybe 20, 21.
Oh, wow, yeah, so you're young.
Yeah. Well, and then for a while I wrote contemporary classical music. That was like all I did.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that was all I did. But then a similar thing happened where I kind of just, I was relatively successful, I guess, from like a standpoint in the sense that like my music was getting performed and I was loving what I was doing. Wonderful. So like what else could I really ask for, right?
Magic, yeah.
And people liked it. So, but then I got in my own head again and was like, you're never going to be able to do this. You're never going to succeed at it, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, well, I literally resigned myself and said, you're just not going to do any of it anymore. You're going to lean into working in restaurants because like that's what you can know and what you do. And then those ended up being like the two to three like darkest years of my life probably. Oh my goodness. And then I came out of it and was just like being here at Second City has been really scary, honestly, still, because I am still fighting with a lot of those demons, but I feel validated by people who don't need to validate me. Their job isn't to tell me that I'm doing great. Right. Their job, it's not like my friends or my family saying, you can do it. It's like strangers going, I think that what you just did was funny. Yeah. I think that what you just did was smart. So I'm feeling
that's awesome.
A lot more confident because people are, being encouraging, but also honest. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my journey. That's what got me here.
Yes. And so we met on a short film. Had you ever done any like kind of film or TV?
No. I threw that out too. That was one of those things where,
Well, I'm very fortunate that we met then. If that was just a one-off
incredibly,
thing. Wow.
We were talking about how you talk about in your podcast how you and Corey met. Right. I feel like it was a very similar situation where just like, what were the chances that like, and you and I have very similar life stories.
Right, very odd connection.
Strangely.
Yes. Similar dynamics.
Yeah, which is amazing. So, yeah, it was, we met there and, I mean, what else is there to say besides... Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just did some really strange hand motions. But I didn't want to like tell CJ's business here without his consent.
Yeah, but we should have talked about it beforehand, but absolutely.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah. But I meant to actually. I meant to ask you about it.
Nice. Yeah. No.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. Now I'm nervous. I've never been nervous before.
So we're talking about sobriety.
We are.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So,
but yeah, I celebrated a year on Saturday.
which is fucking crazy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It
But
is so hard.
You celebrated.
I've had, I'm going to be going on 2 years.
Nice.
On November 1st.
That's coming up fast.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been
Like a little party or
fucking
something.
incredible.
Awesome.
You know, on
BYOB.
my one,
Sorry, that's terrible.
bring your own,
Beverages?
Yeah.
Bring your own BYOS.
bring your own socks.
I got sobriety.
Bring your own sad tale.
Sad life.
Bring your own sad shit. But no, my 1 year actually too. So this is sort of what set me on the trajectory to being in Second City. Was my 1 year. I told myself I had met another comedian through the place I work at in Milwaukee. Shout out to Brittany Thailander. She's a very funny comedian. I worked with her. And she sort of like, yes, and she sort of mothered me on to the stage. Because when I met her, she was like, "Oh, I'm a stand-up comedian," and I was like, "Oh, like I'm meeting one in real life." And like her and I like got along really, really well. And I thought she was funny. She kind of thought I was funny. I think, I hope. And I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." She's like, "You should do it, and I'll be there." And I was like, "Cool." And then I was like, "I'm gonna do it on the." On the anniversary of because it's the scariest fucking thing, and I've always wanted to do it.
Right.
So literally, I went up and I did it, and my opening was like, "Hi, my name is CJ, and I'm an alcoholic." Like I did the whole and then if the bar was like, "Hi, CJ," they were already seen it. But it was good. It was like mostly good, and obviously I survived.
Yeah, it was good enough to like keep you on the horse.
Yeah, like people laughed.
Wonderful.
People laughed. Yeah, could have been better.
For your first time, my God, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I think I still think that some of the jokes, like I'd like to do them again. They were good. But
with more confidence maybe now.
Oh yeah. Well, and also like better delivery and moving words around and yeah. I'm a big words to me is like. I'm very particular, like exacting with why I'm saying a specific word. Yeah, words, and I think that goes...
And fewer the better. It doesn't sound like it from me on this podcast, but because I don't do it here. But as far as my writing and my stand-up, I like to be able to use as few words as possible to get my point across.
I think that's really important.
And the exact right words.
Yeah, and I'm getting better at that, but I wasn't good at that until I took my stand-up class. Nice. I really was about like maximalism with words. Like I liked being specific, but it was sort of like a Dickens novel, almost like some of my jokes, where I would be like,
flourish.
The ground was made of cobblestone and her hair was flaxen, and it's like very, I was like, that's not funny. It's
the rat's fur swayed in the wind. As pesto began to be created. The first crunch of the bone. Ooh, sorry.
The bones take the place of like the pine nuts. In the pesto.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Goes without saying.
You can't taste the difference. You can't taste the difference. It's that crunch, that nutty flavor. Yeah. That's the marrow, honey. But yeah, so anyway, I went, and literally my story from that was I was so paralyzed by fear. I went up there. I'm so paralyzed by fear every time I go up, but I was so paralyzed by fear. I got up, I went off stage. I was like, I kind of got to go. Like, I don't know if I can really be here. I think I stayed for a little while, but I don't really like staying that much. It's kind of a bad environment, really, for someone who's sober.
It is, yeah. All of them are pretty much. You said you just wanted a coffee shop, though, right?
Yeah. Well, we had kind of talked about this. We had been like, why are there no daytime like
a nice early morn,
like a little comedy club right off of a Jewel?
Yeah, like going to the gym in the morning to get you ready for the day. Like, go get your chuckles out.
Yeah.
Put you in a laughing mood.
Talk about an ab workout.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Or maybe like, wouldn't it be amazing if you did? There was like a small stage like right by the ellipticals.
Oh my God, I would totally fucking perform.
Yeah, who wants some fucking cake?
Yes.
That's bad. But I legitimately left the bar, and someone came up to me and they complimented. They were like, I went to the car. I burst into tears.
Oh wow!
I was so overwhelmed with the experience of it, the drama of what had just happened. Everything had kind of hit me, and I was in a full state of panic for the whole day. So I think my body was like finally relaxed and like, and then I went and I got like $20 worth of McDonald's. I ate it all in bed and fell asleep at like 9 p.m.
That's a beautiful story.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah. And now here we are.
Now here we are. God bless the broken road.
God bless. If that highway didn't have speed bumps, man, we would
Where
not.
would
we wouldn't have found each other
God.
in that high tree.
That's true.
In that tall tree.
That dog beach.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it's very. I feel very grateful and present. I think now you and I'm sure you feel the same way. Like being present is.
Like the most valuable
incredible
tool. Yeah, if you can do it, it's so rewarding. I mean, Corey, we were talking about that last night. Sometimes I'll be weighing about the past. I'll be like, oh, this or that happened, and then I'll say, and then I immediately, this all happened in 10 seconds of our conversation, but I said, oh, I'm gonna stop talking about the past. I said, oh, what a great future we've got, and I was like, oh, nope, stop. I was like, right now, this is an amazing moment. I'm loving it. I'm so happy we're here.
Yeah.
And it was a great moment.
So much of my unhappiness has stemmed from this idea of like this certainty and uncertainty of like, I am certain that my past will define me and I am uncertain of how what I'm currently doing will affect my future.
Right.
Instead of just being
a human being
existing in the moment. And that sounds like so dumb, but like when
it's like one of the hardest things though. To continue to hold that appreciation for the present.
Yeah, I think being like such an because I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an emotional person.
Same.
I like that about me.
Right.
I like it about me. I used to think it was like a bad thing.
Same, the vulnerability.
But
it used to be like a bad, or sensitivity. I used to always think it was a bad word.
A lot of people in my life growing up didn't like it because they didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
Because it's just like, especially it's just like you're this boy who is like crying all the time and talking about their emotions and whatever, and I'm just like I mean that's what I like. It's what I like.
What makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's
but
awesome.
for a while, when I was going through, when I was drinking heavily, I think that like emotions, the first time when I was like really like detoxing and getting back to myself, like there were moments where I would just like cry like uncontrollably on the couch, just like laying there and like 2 p.m.
Yes.
And Will would come and he'd be like, what's wrong? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't felt so, like I haven't heard everything so clearly,
I am so hardcore relating to everything.
Yeah, like the voices that I am always sort of like quelling, and it's a voice, right? Like that's such a hypothetical thing where it's not like nobody's like actually talking to me really, but in a weird way, like it's just they were there and there was no hiding from anything anymore.
Right.
It's just like I had to deal with my mind the way that it was. I couldn't manipulate it anymore because I knew that was what was making me unhappy, was trying to control my natural state of being.
Yeah.
So
my aunt, who's been sober for such a long time, has been like such a huge help in this process.
That's your aunt.
Yes, Aunt Dot.
Yeah,
she's
Aunt
amazing.
Dot,
She's amazing.
Yeah,
She took me out
so incredible.
on Saturday.
Yay!
It's so great.
What did you guys do?
We went to this. It's called Shogun.
Okay.
Where you go and you do the Japanese
hibachi.
Yeah. So much fun.
Did you get an onion volcano?
I did get an onion volcano.
Yes.
And we tooted it like a train.
Yes.
Scooted it along. It was so cute.
Yeah. Was that your first hibachi experience?
No, my friend. It was not the last time I did hibachi. I was flipping the egg, and it flipped and it disappeared. I gotta find that video.
What do you mean it disappeared?
I will show you the video. It completely disappeared.
Did he intend for it to disappear?
No. No, it was
That's
shocked
incredible.
every single one of us.
Including the man who flipped it?
Including the man who flipped it. I'll show you the video. It makes no goddamn sense.
That is some ookie
If I wasn't there,
nonsense.
it would have.
You should send that into like
America's Funniest Home Videos 25 years ago.
I was gonna
back in time. Flip the egg back to 1998.
Gotta stop talking about the past. Yeah.
That's right. Or the future.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Right.
You gotta send it to Tosh.0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
actually would be
Gabriel
a good show for that.
Thomas. You know Gabriel Thomas?
No.
Because he hasn't come out yet. He's from the future.
Past, present, future. The ghost of comedy, past, present, and future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, what I was what my aunt
Boo,
said.
and then ha-ha. Yeah, anyway.
Well, my aunt says she said the best thing about sobriety is that you get to feel again.
Oh.
And she said
fully.
the worst thing about sobriety is that you get to feel
Yes.
again. And it's like hearing that is so dead on.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
It's crazy to think too that you would like be doing now that I am feeling the things that I feel like when I hang out with you, or just like anything that brings me like pure joy, anything like that.
Same.
Where I can't believe, like I wouldn't be there in the same way that I'm there right now if we had been like 5 drinks deep. So it's like unbelievable to me that I would want to feel anything other than the actual reality, the truth of the situation. Yes, the truth of any situation, including bad, because like that's what life is about. Really, is like is feeling it, the experience of it, not it happening around you. It's like your experience of it. You're the vessel for it. So go and do it. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense. And actually,
it's grandstanding, but
it's funny. I don't know if I have really thought about it in this way before, but as we're talking, I'm kind of coming to this weird conclusions all muddling together. Of I feel like a lot of my life and my childhood and everything, I was just like a very small piece, too affected by my environment all around me. I didn't have any effect on it. Or it was almost like I wasn't really existing for a long time for myself. I was existing for the things around me. And I wonder if that's why like falling into the habits of drinking so regularly was so easy, because it didn't feel like I was really having my own experiences. It felt like I was just
I'm curious to think too, like, because I feel like everybody has like a different reason why they think that they were. Were you somebody that felt like you weren't interesting unless you drank? Ever?
Yeah, or if I was drinking, I didn't really feel that way either. I just throw it out there that way too.
Oh my God.
I was such a low confidence person for the longest time. I'm still getting there now, but yeah. It felt like, the social anxiety was a huge part of it, though. You're right. Like, it was almost like I would shake just having a conversation with somebody. And I would feel nauseous and sick, and I'd be beating myself up for saying the wrong thing. Or
it's strange to hear you say that, because
I've heard that before.
Are literally, I can't say it's my favorite thing about you, but I would say that it is up there, but it is for sure the most unique thing about you. Is that you have this unbelievable way of I mean, how much further can I go with it? No, I think that you have an unbelievable way of leading a conversation and following a conversation, both like equally. You're very, very talented at people.
Thank you. I love people.
Yes, it shows.
Thank you.
It shows.
My butt shows too.
That's why people like it. People like you, because you're just like, oh, is this not working? Okay, here we go. Time to the moneymaker.
Plan B, UGT.
You asked for it.
You asked for it.
Yeah, we all asked for it.
Asked for it.
Oh,
okay,
you asked for it. Yeah. I know you get it.
That one in there one more time.
You asked for it.
Oh, cheers.
You asked for it.
My God.
Okay, anyway. Yes, thanks for the clap. Let's talk about practice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't mean to do that, but
oh my God, that was good.
Yeah.
It was so bad, it was good.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those.
Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of stories from that open mic night.
It was good. It was a good mic.
Anybody who wants to spend some good quality time with their
Go
friends,
to a mic.
Inside jokes real quick, without having to go through any relationship effort.
Okay, here's the tea though. Can we teach the children, if you're going to go to an open mic, you gotta be nice.
That's right.
You gotta be quiet.
Right.
And
laugh really loud and hard.
Yeah. Be
supportive.
Well, maybe not even necessarily supportive, but be engaged.
Because also, if you laugh really hard at stuff that's not funny, you're not actually helping them.
And I find myself doing that.
Like, holy shit. Yeah, me too. I feel guilty.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're doing your best up there.
Yeah, I would want somebody to do this to me. Yeah. But then it's like, would I? No.
I want somebody to be honest with me and have an honest reaction so that I can fix it.
And or never go up again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give me a good cry over my Mc burger.
Somebody stop my this runaway train. But yeah, I think that was a big part of why I drank too, was like self-confidence and not being able to, and people, the reason I brought up, I think it's crazy for you, is because I absolutely feel like people have said that to me as well, having conversation with me, they were like, I cannot believe you ever felt that way about yourself.
Right.
We thought you were interesting and fun, and we wanted to be around you regardless.
Same.
And I was like,
For you.
so I just made this all up. I made this all up in my head.
We're such imaginative people, you and I. We're so creative.
Wasted. We could have made up a whole new universe by now.
I've created a million ways to fuck my life up. So creative.
Yeah, what a fun way to use your inner
license.
child. But yeah. Okay, so this is kind of a weird story. I said inner child. But that reminded me of Will, and I was going to say something earlier about how different we were, and then we got so off topic.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Should we go to a commercial and then we can?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go
Let's
to a commercial because there's no way we're going to get
our
to
sponsors.
another stopping point at any point.
Okay.
And long after the podcast is done, this conversation will continue.
It's so good.
Okay, we're going to cut to a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
Bye.
It's the weekend, and you've been partying hard, guys. But now it's the end of the night and you've had a little bit too much to drink. Maybe you haven't gotten lucky, but you're in luck with this taxi service. Call Boober. Boober has that extra something for your ride home. Try some of our services like Boober X, Boober XXX, Boober XL, or our brand new service, Boober Step. Download it in the App Store today. And we're back. CJ and I were just talking about my little hand gestures about whether it was okay for us to talk about the sobriety or not.
I believe it was a tumbler you were holding?
Yes. That's how I would drink. It was none of these little flasks.
Right.
It was a whole fucking Yeti.
Yeah.
like cooler.
A little Yeti.
Oh my God.
I was very much I had one wine glass that had a mustache on it. I drank from the wrong side though, so the mustache was like on my neck.
I think it was upside down.
I was bad at drinking.
Oh, you did have a drinking problem.
The problem was that I could never get into the glass. I got it in the glass.
That's great.
No, I just kept the wine bottle next to wine was it. Wine was the tea.
I've gotten
if you know what I mean.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I've gotten in the most trouble with wine for sure, which is crazy.
Yeah, wine was
the blackout. It was the blackout drink for me.
Oh yeah.
And whiskey.
Whiskey
and
was
vodka.
And I mean, did you mix a lot too?
I did.
Yeah,
they
Sir
actually
mixed
used
a
to
lot.
call me that.
Did they really?
Shut up! Before you said that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That is so funny.
Big drinks.
Nobody ever called me that, and that makes me sad.
No, they called me the exterminator, but that was for another reason. I have to say that offline. I have to say that when we're not on recording. That was my nickname.
My God.
And I didn't kill any bugs. I'm not gonna.
No, I get
anything.
it. Yeah, but so before we were talking, when we were listening to that wonderful ad, we were talking about
alcoholism,
and also the definition of, because when you do have to sort of come out to people in a weird way, which
that can be intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no stranger to it. So
right.
With my life is and I in a weird way, I think people they have things that they feel shame or they carry around with them that they eventually have no choice but to tell people, and then they have anxiety about having to tell people that. But I was saying that I think the easiest thing to do is to tell people that I'm an alcoholic. But I don't necessarily know if that word defines me properly. And I told myself that I did for the longest time, because I think that had I not done so, I don't think I would have taken it so seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely, because if I started drinking today, it would take me no time at all to be back in the same place.
time at all.
Yeah.
I fully believe that.
Nobody would hear from me for 3 days.
But it's definitely a short, it would be awful. But it is sort of, in that sense, though, too, I have grown and changed as a person. So it's almost a Schrodinger's cat, where it's almost like, since I'll never drink again, I'll never really know whether or not I'll be able to.
Exactly.
But I have no intention of finding out.
And I have no desire anymore.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're able to experience these amazing moments. You don't want to go back to not being able to.
I'll ruin my life.
Yeah,
I'll ruin my life. Like, I will ruin all this hard work that I've put in for myself. And I can't imagine anything happening to me that would make me want to go back down that way. But I think that people in general, they talk about like having a drinking problem and having an alcoholic, and I think being an alcoholic, and I think that like I am using that term from like a very privileged standpoint, in the sense that like I had like white boy alcoholism. Do you know what I mean? Like I had white boy alcoholism.
Yes. You didn't
I was just like
kill children with your car.
I didn't do it.
Like
I was like, Mom,
you didn't
sad
spend
a lot.
6 years in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when it got dark, it was awful, but it never got to the point of where it was truly life-altering in a way that like affected people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean.
But that's
like,
what's kind of amazing too about being able to make that decision before it did.
Yes.
Like being able to jump on that before it became that,
Well,
because you could see down the line that that's the potential.
Well, I really credit Will again to this because
That's awesome.
was.
You guys have been together for
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
Almost
That's
8
awesome.
years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, he is
Awesome.
literally the best person I've ever met in my whole life, and I'm
wonderful.
so thankful. Like, I love him so much, but even more than I love him, I'm like grateful that he wanted to like work, that he saw enough in me to like still want to be. Anyway, yeah.
I know, I'm getting cold chills.
No, it's okay. It's just
That's
like he's
amazing. That's awesome.
he really is. He's the real deal. He's the fucking amazing person. But so I was gonna say difference between the two of us.
Difference.
Yes. So this is very. I think A, it's hilarious, and B, it's very like on the nose for him.
Nice.
I was writing jokes, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm realizing I'm a sexual comedian. So I texted him. I was just like, I'm like nervous about being like identifying as a sexual comedian because I'm an other, and I feel like that automatically like weirdly grosses people out, and like sets a bunch of people are just like, ugh, bleh, bleh, 2 men, who cares, bleh. That's so a bunch of people, like I'm already accidentally alienating a bunch of people who don't know anything about me. So I sent him this text message that was like how I normally am, which is like really emotional, like thinking too hard about something, and all he sends back is he goes, well, you should be glad that you have an edge because straight white boys are canceled.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so clear.
And I was like,
it's like
you're
bing.
right.
Yes.
You're right, because if I wasn't gay and I was a comedian,
that's such a good point.
I would have the material that you have to drag from is like, yeah, I mean, of course you have a point of view, but like a lot of it people are tired of it and are looking for something different and fresh, and so I was like.
And so, like, if
Nail
you're
on the head.
worried about, like, the first few things that you say completely alienating people, it's also the first few things you say are actually fucking interesting and refreshing and
that's
new
the thing,
and wonderful.
That's the thing is that, like, people
that's
don't
great.
realize that they want to hear it until they've heard it.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, and I think that's the
like
hard...
anything new.
Well, the hard part
know?
about being an other is that you are... But like, so are other people.
Yes, and you have so much to offer.
And yeah, and you
People don't expect it.
Yeah, and they don't even know that they need it, and they hear it, and you're like, oh, somebody felt seen in that moment.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So.
It is beautiful.
But yeah, I just thought that was so. I literally texted him. I'm like, which one of us is the comedian?
Oh yeah.
Because that's fucking funny.
Absolutely.
That's fucking funny.
That's
he says
awesome.
he's like not.
Straight
As a
white boys
rule,
are
he's
canceled.
not that
That's
funny.
So good. As a rule,
he's
not allowed.
See,
I'm about
I
to
don't
tell
let
Corey
him be
that.
funny.
Sometimes Corey is way, way funnier than me, and I just
Do you
get very
hate it?
upset. I do hate it. I get very upset, and I'm like, no.
Willie's usually
It's hilarious.
not funny. So when he is, it's incredible. Like it's so out of left field and so good.
Nice.
And also I love he is so supportive, but not in a in a very pragmatic way. He's just like a
Right.
very logical person.
That's
so
wonderful.
like
This is what you need right
he
now.
won't
I'm not going
feed
to butter
me.
it up.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
going to give you bullshit.
He doesn't go, I think that's good. He'll be like, you can't say that. Don't say that. Don't do that.
Nice.
And sometimes I'll listen to him.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And
sometimes I
that's
won't.
what makes you guys both independent people in your partnership,
Yeah.
which is so important.
Yeah.
For individuals in a partnership because you're choosing to be so.
Well, and I know that I have a fragile enough ego too that I am consistently that person that's just like, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm funny, bleh. And like he goes, no, you fucking believe it. Like
Yeah,
it's
you tell
very like
yourself that.
yeah, it's like
You
I'm
know that already.
It's like you are,
know you're pretty.
and he's like,
CJ.
yeah, he's
You're
like, you're
beautiful
fishing,
boy.
but it's like,
You're fishing.
and it's like, am I? I mean, I guess I am. Of course, I am a little bit, but I also like really am. There's this weird combination of like, oh yes, I believe these things about me, but I also need them fed into my brain because otherwise I'll stop believing them. It's really
Thank
weird.
God we do stand up. And
Yeah.
for Tori and Will's sake, thank God we have some other giant audience of people that we're
Yeah.
hoping to get this from. We're
Yeah.
fishing with them a lot.
Yeah, it really is. You get up
man.
there and the whole time in the mic you're just saying, tell me I'm funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I pretty?
Am I pretty?
Am I pretty?
I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna like put a bunch of lipstick on and be like, is this what you want?
Oh my
Is this
God.
what you came here for?
Would you fuck me?
Yeah.
I'd fuck me. Oh, what? Ew.
Just grab the mic and just
Buffalo
like,
Bill. Oh, he's putting
say
the
hello.
mic to his crotch.
say hello.
Oh my God. I'm glad you didn't finish that sentence.
Yeah, say hello to my mediocre friend. Say hello to my national average friend.
Oh man.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like sobriety's dope.
It is.
Second City's dope.
Will's dope.
Will's dope. Corey's dope.
Corey's
you're dope.
very dope.
This is
You're
fun.
dope.
Yeah, you're dope. Dope maybe isn't the best.
No.
We say sobriety and then suddenly we're just like,
dope.
you're dope.
Yeah.
Drugs are good.
Drugs.
We like
Speaking of
drugs.
sobriety, alcohol can go fuck himself.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that I'm
Alcohol's canceled.
I love. That's what the Chappelle special is about.
Really?
That's what they
still not
canceled.
watched it.
I didn't either, but you know it's really
Offensive?
really polarizing.
I've heard that it's.
Do you know what? I'm going to be on record and say that I don't know whether or not it will be offensive, obviously, because I haven't seen it. And I've read people say stuff about it or whatever.
Right.
I think with jokes, I think if I laugh,
Yeah, it's like,
oh
what
well.
are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not funny.
Yes,
It's like,
fully that.
ooh.
But I do think a lot of the times when somebody will say something bad and it's supposed to be funny, but it doesn't work, I'm not even offended. I'm just like, that's just not funny.
Yeah, nice
You
job.
just didn't do it. You just didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens a lot where I think people are just like, I'm just gonna like say the word.
A shocking, like, shock value
like,
type thing.
yeah. So I was
That's
like
disappointing.
skull fucking my dead mom the other day.
Yeah, that sounds like some of the comedians we've heard. Yeah. Oh my God. Exactly.
I would actually
Yeah, I kicked the shit out of my grandpa.
Could you imagine?
Some of those made me laugh.
I'm sorry, but the guy who had the dead mom, if the whole time, and at the end he was just like, no, I'm not gonna say that. At the end, that was like the last thing he said, and then it was like, that's my time.
my God.
I probably would have laughed at that.
That would be insane.
It would be really
Maybe
insane.
if it was a stepmom, then we can make a video. We can really
Capitalize
market to
the
people.
step.
That's
Be like,
right.
make sure you know they're not related.
We've got to put step in there, or else it's weird.
But you want them to be. Yeah.
Yikes.
People really like it.
Oh, it's awkward.
I mean, it's been around, Oedipal.
Since there were stepfathers.
Yeah, there were people fucking their stepfathers.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Ew.
yeah.
Are your parents still together?
Yeah.
Then shut up.
I've got no
I'm just
stepfathers to
kidding.
fuck. Yeah. Damn.
Oh, man.
I'll never know if it was good or
Ew.
not.
Ew.
Yeah, no, my parents have been together
Hilarious.
for I don't know, my entire life, I guess.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It shaped me into like a person who thinks that like monogamy is real and tangible
That's
and beautiful.
Beautiful. I love that.
Because I really think that like what has helped me sustain a long-term relationship is seeing my parents go through like such adversity and then being like,
And doing
this is
it
my
well.
life partner. Because I think the thing, if you really wanna, this is like my life advice for meeting somebody and being like,
so ready.
is this the person I want to watch me die? is this the person I want there with me while I die? Like literally taking care of me, and like I know in your head you know you're about to.
Yeah.
Is that the person you want as your caretaker?
Wow.
I mean,
that is like going there. That's like saying like, I'm not
true.
bullshitting around. I want to know what's up.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a similar thing with my ex-boyfriends, but it's like when I meet them, I think, this is the person that I want to watch die.
oh my
Just kidding. Just kidding. Mostly.
Oh my God! I was there with you on that journey too. I'm just like, yeah, preach it, sister, and then you said,
burn in hell.
I do think that it would be fun to watch some of them burn.
You've heard my stories.
Yeah.
Off recording. I try not to be spiteful and share, but
you know, I think that, and I said this before. I think there's a difference between spite and comeuppance, and some people deserve
some comeuppance.
Some people deserve to have the truth be delivered to them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
And I hope that it comes to them maybe in the form of a book. I think that might be nice.
Perhaps an interpretive dance.
Perhaps maybe on a scroll read by a fancy British man.
And shoved right up there.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yes.
Yeah, right in the Kate Spade bowl.
Yep.
But
kisser.
Right in the kisser.
Or in the Fruit Loops bowl.
Right? Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I said
the Kate Spade bowl.
This is made of. Awesome. Yeah, right. That's what you eat out of. Awesome. That's what I eat out of. It's funny because I made that joke that I had that ass eating joke, and even that I love it. It's like my favorite thing to do.
You know what? We should start using the term ass eating joke as like that was a great joke. Like that joke made me so happy.
That joke
made me
ass.
feel good in my deepest parts.
Yeah, it made me feel like someone was.
Yo, dude, you really told some ass eating jokes up there.
Do you know
those jokes ate ass?
Yeah, that's what I love. I think that's good because ass eating now is like, and now it's like cool.
It is. That's crazy.
Cool.
What a weird generation.
I think it makes sense. It's like gay people
brought it back.
Did it, and straight people were like, and then we're like, oh no, clean your ass, and straight people were like,
Absolutely.
wait, clean it? What? And then they're like,
do we have to?
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, now I get it. Yeah. Do you wash your legs?
Me?
Yeah.
Wash them?
Yeah.
Like.
Do you clean? I mean, you don't need to take whatever that was. I don't mean do you take them down by the river and beat them over a stone.
Wash my legs?
Yeah, do you wash them?
Like these kickers?
Yeah, the ones you carry around on your torso. Do you wash them? I know you're nonplussed, but I'm just
they are plussed. They're plus size legs. They
No, they're great. Yeah, they're not plus size.
I don't shave very often, but I wash.
Did you wash? I don't wash my legs.
I washed them today. You don't wash your legs?
I don't wash my legs. There's a phenomenon. I was listening. Do you know
Do
who?
you just let the water just flow down
okay. So
over your legs?
I stopped doing that. Now I started
I'm always
washing my
wiping
legs.
stuff on my bare legs though, like a 4-year-old toddler. Like I'll pick my nose and it's going on my leg, or I'll like eat something and it's just wipe it on my bare leg.
Oh my god,
That's so gross.
I think I do that,
Love you, Corey.
and then I still don't wash my legs.
Nice.
So it's just like a little peanut butter.
Yeah. My peanut butter pocket.
My peanut butter pocket. That's what I call that area of gluey non sequiturs stuck to my upper thigh.
It'll come off when I shave.
Yeah, it's fine. It just kind of
Fluffs.
it makes up to the ground.
And then you stomp it through the drain every few showers.
It's just like, kill me. But yeah, I was listening. Do you know who Nicole Byer is at all? Comedian Nicole Byer?
Very familiar.
Yeah, she's got a great podcast with Shasir. Fuck, I can't say her name. Yeah, thank you. Zameda from SNL.
Zameda.
Yeah. Did I start to say it right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. I just got confused.
So high pitched. Super right.
Yeah. But they have a great podcast, and I think she said it on that podcast where she's like, "Did you know that white people don't wash their legs?" And everyone was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't wash my legs.
You know, it's weird.
I just let the water."
I don't know if I was ready to. I do.
Okay.
I'm not ready to admit that I don't. So yes, I do.
So you just let it, Because I was like, well, I wash.
I think I do.
I wash
now
my.
I'm going to be thinking about it.
Oh, what's
Next
there
time
to
I'm
think
in the
about?
shower.
It's very, it's cut and dry. It's cut and wet.
Yeah.
Because it's a shower.
That's good.
You take your hands and you go, this is me rubbing.
I use a loofah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And I think
maybe
I
one of
just
these guys.
quickly like loofah.
I'll loofah the here, and the right. But then no. Nothing.
Generally gestured to his area below his hips and said
I went, no. It's my least favorite part of my body.
What about your feet? Do you scrub your feet?
No.
You know they make mats for the floor of your shower, which sound disgusting, but that you can rub your
Do they
feet
like
on.
Parmesan rind your feet off when you?
I
hate
use
that.
them.
That sounds terrible.
I just break a bottle into the tub and just I'm just kidding. Ew, that sounds so terrible.
And you just take the shards.
Yeah, and just
you're just like
scrape.
Get out of here.
That's right. It's the Irish way.
Yeah, very. A bottle
Finish
of Hennessy.
your Guinness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you're just like,
See, we still know him. Wait,
she
you
won't fuck
bartend.
me until.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still
I'm not afraid to
bartend,
discuss
which is
that,
a very wild thing
It's a
to.
grueling job.
Well, it's also like a strange thing to do when you're sober to like serve people alcohol. I do it at a restaurant though, so it's like very.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
People usually don't come in super drunk, but
Do you
then
ever
when
tell
they
them
do.
like, no, I didn't try that. I don't eat food. I quit eating food years ago.
It is. Well, we were sort of talking about this on the way. It is really strange when people will be like, I can tell that they're like judging when I tell them that I don't drink. People will like usually be like, oh, if I haven't tried that, they don't care. But they'll like be like, why not? Or what kind of bartender doesn't try his own drinks? And I'm like, well, because I don't drink. And you can tell people like they think that I'm a worse bartender because I don't drink.
I can't even attest to it.
The reality
I
is,
can't
it's
even
like,
help you know if you're a good bartender.
But it's like I know what things are.
Yeah.
I've had them all before.
Absolutely.
So I know what an IPA tastes like. I know what Campari tastes like. I know what
Actually,
all too well.
recovering alcoholics are probably the best bartenders because we have tried all of them.
Let me tell you this: you're going to want to start with you're going to want to start with a light cider, maybe have 3 or 4 of those, and you're going to want to move on to tequila shots. And then once you've called your exes, you're going to pour yourself into a lift. You're going to get home. You're going to have a bottle of wine, and there's my recommendation.
You
for
know
your
that
evening.
Prosecco that's been in the back of the fridge for 2 years?
Yeah.
Crack that down.
Yeah, it's been a little
Sunny
open.
D is the
so.
same thing as orange juice. Mix them up. Same thing.
Sunny D is should be renamed to Sunny B because it's not a delight, it's a bummer.
You're totally right, especially as an
it's not
adult.
good.
There's
It's
certain
not good.
foods like that and drinks that I feel like either my taste buds changed or they've changed.
Do you know what
and they're not
mock
good
chicken
anymore.
is? Like a mock chicken leg?
Does it go mock, mock, mock? no, what's mock?
Instead of bok, instead of the very common bok chicken legs, which is like what you normally buy.
Bok chicken.
Because they do
just
these
using
chickens go
animal
bok or bok before they
Would you
died?
like the moo cow beef? Oh my god.
Before it was slaughtered, did it go mock or bok?
I need to know the dialect
Yeah,
of this chicken.
right. It depends. If the California chickens say mock, and
Which, you know what, for reference, bing bing, for reference section and corrections, so I would know when to do the reference.
Is that the noise for yourself?
That is.
Beep, beep.
Bing bing. I'm gonna look up because there's, in different countries, animals' noises are different.
So do you think that they make different? Oh, they for sure do. I just read an article, and by read I mean like the millennial read, which is like
You read the title?
I went like this
Yeah.
and saw the title and was like, that's interesting, and then never said anything else about it.
Same.
But it's literally like whales will, when they sing, you can tell where they've been based on the songs that they sing because they pick up songs. So it's like if you were like a jazz musician and you like went to New Orleans and you like played with a band there, and then you went back to like Chicago and you played that song.
They would know.
That's kind of a weird way of like putting it, but I guess that's true.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. Little food for thought. So chicken's probably, I don't know.
Oh no, I meant like that's fascinating. But I meant like language, like how we would say a rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah.
In like Japan, they would be like eepy 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 or something. I don't know. I'll look it up though.
There is actually I think I learned some of them in when I took French, but my memory is so trash that I can't remember what they were. But of course, I was a kid and I was like, non-Americans are stupid. Like that's how.
We.
Yeah. What are you gonna go to the bathroom? Ugh. It's so dumb. Bathrooms are embarrassing. Ugh, I don't
Toilets
poop.
are gross.
I don't poop. Stupid.
That's awesome.
Cut to, since we're being open and shameful, I'd like to apologize to somebody from my childhood because was thinking about it a lot the other day, weirdly enough. This is funny, but also like I legitimately wonder if this person deserves an apology, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. But his name is Christopher Oliver. When I was in 3rd grade, I was new to the class, and I had to fart really bad, and I dropped a pencil, and I bent over, and I farted so loud. And I was new, right?
Yeah.
I blamed
so
it
embarrassing.
on Christopher Oliver, who was sitting behind me, and everyone bought it.
Did they laugh?
Yeah, and then everyone made fun of him for like the rest of the year instead of me, and then like
the rest of the year. Oh,
yeah, and then
Did
cut
they
to like
fart?
no, but that would have been good.
Oh, dumb kids.
Kids were no, kids are so bad. You know, my last name, the kids used to call me Darn Good Eater, and I'd
That
be like,
doesn't sound like an insult at all.
hello. I was a little bit bigger, so it never really caught on. And then I got older, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I like vegetables. And then they were like, my friends were like, they were calling you fat. And I went, and like 1,000-yard stare. I was like, oh no, fuck, I was.
Gosh.
But yeah. So then, cut to like 7th grade, I see him again, and he's a fucking asshole, and he's like he's like a bully, and I think that I caused that. Yeah.
But this
Anyway,
is why we're the same person.
I farted, not Christopher Oliver.
I bet somewhere
So
right
that-
now there's just like lights surrounding him, and he's like being gently lifted into the air, and
I
there's
don't-
music playing, and he's like transforming into a good person. Just kidding, Christopher Oliver, you're probably a good person.
Thank you for making me feel better. But I actually do fully believe that there are people that I definitely owe apologies to. A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
same.
I think that like I think of myself now and I'm like, I'm a good person who's doing good things, but I fully know that there are quite a few people out there that would disagree with that entirely.
Yeah.
But apologies are interesting because a lot of the times they're for me.
Right, 100%.
And if I go to this person that I think deserves an apology from me and interrupt their 5 years of peace with me, the asshole, not being in their life and being like, oh, I'm sorry for that one time when I was a fucking asshole, then I have to like
bring that all back up.
that's
all
and then
the
they're just like,
emotions,
I was
negativity,
so done with you.
Yeah.
You're only doing this for yourself.
Right.
So I've been kind of like,
That's a hard thing to line to toe.
I think that if I like came in contact with a person where I was like,
Yeah,
I had
organically.
to sit down with them. Yeah, it was like organically, I think I would. But I think like seeking people out and like apologizing for your past behavior can be dangerously self-serving. So I feel like
That's
you gotta
a
like,
great way of putting it.
you gotta
have
know
to
why you're
really
doing it.
Consider their emotions.
Yeah.
Like, is this benefiting them in any way? Have
yeah,
they moved on from it?
because you're like, well, I
already?
feel better. It's like, well, it's not about
Yeah,
you.
exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way with. Oh no, this is kind of the opposite.
Well, no, say it anyway.
Well, just
I like opposites.
Well, I've thought a lot about like, I feel like I'm the type of person that I cannot stand like holding grudges.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, if I feel like someone's wronged me, I'm like desperate to forgive them. For whatever.
Oh, that
If
is
that
opposite.
sounds weird.
No, not weird. I think it's a good thing.
And something I have to remind myself is that I can go to somebody and be like, I forgive you for such and such.
Yeah.
But they might not necessarily be asking for that. Like, be sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is the interesting. Some people just.
Or even if they are sorry, they do feel guilty or they do regret whatever it was, if they're not willing to ask for that. I don't know. I'm kind of going a little abstract.
No. I know what you're saying, and I do think, and that's why I think it's like so. In your case, I feel like if you're chasing somebody who's like you're like you want them to forgive you. Is that what you're saying? No, you're saying the opposite.
That I want to forgive them.
You want to
so that we
forgive
both
them.
can move past.
But some people don't even
whatever.
think that what they did was wrong.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. Or even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is most of my life.
I guess basically, yeah, what we're looking at here is like we're both looking at freedom from guilt, whether it's on your
Yes.
side or their side, or freedom from negative situations.
But I think that like you
all very
can't
abstract,
be.
but I like it.
Yes, I agree. But I think that the reality is that you cannot be free from all guilt. Like you did it,
Right.
and you have to live with that. That's like
Absolutely.
what's happening. It's so. Anyway.
Definitely.
You can't get past it. But I mean, what else can you do other than learn from it? But I think everyone's trying to be like, no, everybody must like me and I must absolve and I'm always a good person. And it's like, there are people
Nobody's
fully
always a
believe
good
that I'm a
person.
fucking asshole and always will. And you know what? They would have every right to believe so. And there are people in my life that are probably wonderful people outside. But my experience with them was that they were a fucking asshole and I never want to be around them again.
And that's your experience, which is totally okay for you to have.
Yeah, that's life.
And it's totally okay for other people to have that experience, negative experience from you.
Yeah, it's usually with men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not okay for men. I'm kidding. We can just bring it back down to some shit.
I will say that, men are, we like what they got going on, but
That's true.
not always.
Yeah, down there.
Down in the private zone.
Yeah, down south.
In the
not up north.
North, the south.
No, thank you.
And I know that we're used to feeling differently about that, where south is usually bad and north is usually good.
Yeah,
in America.
Then you grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like physically, geographically?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Union versus
Confederate. Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There's a union again. A reunion.
A reunion. I just want to, that's what I want. I want a reunion of the male mind and penis.
And heart.
And heart. They just have to open up all their chakras and figure it out. That's what I think.
Right. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
No, I legitimately think that I had just had this conversation. I love women. I love women everything. Like just in general, as a rule. People are like, what art do you like? I like art that women do. I like music that women write.
That's interesting.
I just think that women are generally emotional, open people. Yeah. And I think that men, in my experience, can have an ulterior motive and are often not as open.
Right.
And also not a lot of men give us perfectly reasonable reasons to mistrust them all the time. So generally with women, I'm just like, hey, I want to know everything about you and we're best friends and and if I get that energy back. But men, I'm very
hesitant.
Yeah, always.
Which is hard.
They scare me a little bit.
It's proven over and over that, also, there's wonderful men out there. We've proven that with
Of
Will and Corey and you and
of course,
so many
yeah.
men. Of course,
Hashtag not all men.
Yeah. Hashtag but me too.
Yeah. Hashtag but all of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I
but
don't
yeah,
mean.
It gets proven a lot.
Yeah, of course it does, and that's why I think that
hard.
the hashtag not all men is so fucking stupid.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a hashtag that men use who are like, I'm the good, but I'm a good guy. Anybody that needs to say that they're a good guy, probably not great.
Yeah.
In my experience, not great.
That's upsetting. Yes,
so,
absolutely.
but they would do that thing where it'd be like, well, of course we're not talking about all men. Of course we're not. Yeah. But most men, and definitely you. Definitely you.
That's awesome.
You fall
and whoever
into this
just
category.
raised their hand,
put
it down.
But
we mean you.
I think men feel like there's just when you discuss men as a whole with the idea of toxic masculinity, it's bad for us too, man. The weird thing is that they don't realize that I suffer from it too.
From men violence towards men from men than women do.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's violent
and assault and
in the terms
battery.
of microaggressions and all these other things and not being able to be free and open, spiritually, sexually, socially, all of these things. You have to act a certain way, be a certain way. Of course, And
then even if you weren't getting just negative stuff like we're talking about right now, just the neutral is not great either. And just not having any chance of connection or positive, because you can get so much positivity out of a relationship between two men.
I agree.
Friendships.
Yeah,
I benefit both of them so much.
I have had so few of those.
Yes.
And when I have had them, they were mind-blowing to me. Especially I had friendships with very, very what felt like a bond that I've had with women that were straight male friendships where I'm just holy shit, I didn't know this was even possible.
Right.
I love this person. I love this person, and they're open and honest and cool. But that's the exception, man, not the rule.
Absolutely. And it's interesting living in America in a patriotic society.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about it just last night. So I identify as bisexual, and I wondered if maybe what of that has to do with the culture that I'm surrounded by? Because I grew up I loved boy culture. I loved being outside. I loved playing in the dirt and the mud, and I loved roughhousing and trucks and I just loved a lot of things that were stereotypically masculine things, and I more wanted to be doing what my brothers were doing than what my sister was doing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was interested in clothes or makeup. I wanted to do the building forts and things like that.
Okay.
I wonder if that's. And so women are objectified a lot in media and everything like that, and women are sex symbols and stuff like that. Yeah. And I wonder how much that's affected me. Even, this is a good example, last night, Corey and I were driving to go see a movie. We went and saw It 2 last night.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
It was fun.
Really?
I liked it, yeah. It was a little spooky.
Interesting. I don't do spook as a rule.
It was pretty spooky.
It was pretty spooky?
It was pretty graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't do graphic.
Ooh, yeah, then don't.
I like, violence is, I hate it.
So violent and gratuitously violent.
Yeah.
And some of it was not just horror violence, it was also domestic violence and street violence. It was it hit just multiple points of
there's something interesting with gratuitous violence though, because I hit an uncanny valley where something becomes where things
overdone
things become so violent that I actually find it engrossing and sometimes even kind of funny.
Have you ever seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
No.
Oh, I think you would very much like that.
That sounds fake. What is that?
It does sound fake. It's a good movie. It's a British movie.
I'm not even a huge movie person at all.
Oh,
I like
that's okay.
TV. I
like
love
we talked
TV.
About, it's like with people. It's like if you get that in your career, your performance and stuff like that, and restaurants and things. Well, the restaurants don't have movies, but if stand up and stuff, it's like the performing arts. Sometimes in your personal life, you don't need it.
Right, exactly.
You get that filled somewhere else.
Yeah. I feel like I get my violence.
I get
my violence on the streets, like a red-blooded American man.
Yes.
No, I
sweet in the sheets, violence on the streets. Violence on the streets of Chicago.
Yeah, I moved here because I heard it was scary.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was funny. We went through a underpass just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, sure
and you
did.
were like, I don't know if I'd be going through this underpass if you weren't here.
I would not have.
Yes.
I would not have.
And I was like, I'd totally go through. I'm not scared of nothing.
And then
we come back through that same underpass, and there's a plethora. I would say at least 200.
There were more than that.
1,000,
there was
maybe.
a lot of lots. Yeah. Hi.
Hey there.
No.
You using this room?
No. This is 303. This is an improv class at 4 o'clock.
I don't know.
We've been the only ones here for a little while. Is it?
Yeah. Is it 4?
Oh, we got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So maybe, but we
okay.
don't know that.
Okay,
I'm so
Yeah. Sorry. Is it really that?
I have no idea.
Is it really that late? Holy cow.
Whoa. This has been a great conversation.
This has been great.
Yes.
Holy
we kind
shit.
of stole this room.
I
We
was
weren't
supposed to
technically supposed to be
Yeah,
in this room.
how did you?
We got really lucky.
And now you guys know. Okay,
now we know.
so there's going to be an improv class shortly, but thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
This has been amazing.
That was the end of my story. There was a lot of spiders.
Yeah, lots of
and
spiders.
I ran.
Life is about
It was a very
running
ugly
from
jog.
spiders.
Thing. It's a lot of fucking spiders.
Yeah, we got to go.
Alrighty, thank you
Alright.
guys so much for listening. This has been such a great time.
Love you.
Yes. I will hopefully have you on again, man.
I would love nothing more. Yeah,
gosh.
anytime you need me,
It's wonderful.
I'll be here.
CJ and I are just going to be doing open mics. We're hoping to take a writing 2 class tomorrow soon.
Yes.
Alrighty, well thank you so much.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Reference and corrections.
Alrighty, this is the part of the show where I elaborate on some of the stuff we talked about and possibly fix some of the mistakes that I said as well, and introduce you to the facts of what has been discussed. If you couldn't tell, those last 5 minutes were a little bit rushed. We didn't get to all the bits, but I'm sure I'm going to have CJ on the show again. We lost track of time a little bit, and there was another class coming into the room that we were working in. So I'm going to have CJ back. This is just a really good excuse because I got to get him to do my bits. He's got to say Pish Tosh podcast 3 times fast. I got to find out if he's seen Fight Club. And if he has a quote from it, and he'll probably be prepared now. Hopefully. CJ, are you listening? You find a quote from Fight Club. You make this bit worthwhile. Anyway, quick fun fact before we really get into it. Corey and I, my partner and I, took our dog Judy to the Montrose Dog Beach later that same day after CJ and I finished up our interview. And that Montrose Dog Beach is where CJ and I first met on that short film shoot. So much fun. Anyway, I talked about a quote from Russell Brand, and I wanted to give you that quote now. I was able to track it down. He says, "Cannabis isn't a gateway drug. Alcohol isn't a gateway drug. Nicotine isn't a gateway drug. Caffeine isn't a gateway drug. Trauma is the gateway. Childhood abuse is the gateway. Molestation is the gateway. Neglect is the gateway. Drug abuse, violent behavior, hypersexuality, and self-harm are often symptoms, not the cause, of much bigger issues, and it almost always stems from a childhood filled with trauma, absent parents, and an abusive family. But most people are too busy laughing at the homeless and drug addicts to realize your own children could be in their shoes in 15 years. So it's pretty dark, pretty powerful, but I think there's a lot of truth in that, and thanks for letting me share it with you now. On a lighter note, I double-checked with Corey, and if I ever become president, then he will be my first lady, but he said that he would like to be called my first boy, his words. Anyway, speaking of, well, no, this is completely opposite of that. The theme song, Michael Jackson's theme song from Free Willy is You Will Be There, so that's fun. And if you are interested in seeing a video of me pretending to be the whale from Free Willy, Willy, I guess is his name. You can go on YouTube and look up Emma Rose is Free Willy, or you can go to my website, www.emmaredmarchrose.com, where on the homepage right now is that video, along with the Emma Rose and the Disappearing Egg video from that hibachi restaurant. Anyway, the theme song from Dukes of Hazzard is Good Old Boys by Waylon Jennings. And let's see, one of my favorite facts that I've come across so far is that, yes, cats can have 8 nipples, but also they can have as few as like 4. It's usually like 6 to 8 nipples is usually an even amount, but not necessarily. They can have like 4 to 10 nipples. You can have 2 kittens from the same litter who have different amounts of nipples. I don't know what's happening. Why? Anyway, I guess there's a God. No, I don't know. We talked about some whale songs, and I think I found the article that he was talking about. There's an article on newscientist.com from September 4th, so just recently, by Chelsea White, and the article is titled, "We Can Tell Where a Whale Has Traveled from the Themes in Its Song." So I'm pretty sure this is it. And it was really interesting. They did a lot of research on these whale songs. They said that their best analogy is to like human fashion and pop songs, and that the sharing of whale song is kind of like a cultural transmission that can give clues about where a whale has traveled on its migration and where it started out. This is really cool. I'm glad we brought that up and everything. Also, I looked up what sounds does a rooster make in Japan, and the result that I got was, and I swear to God, I love different cultures. I do not mean to be offensive by any of this. I just love like celebrating and trying some on, and hopefully I'm not being offensive. But here's what popped up. Andori waidano yana ato a dashama saka. And what happened, just to explain it, is the first thing that popped up on Google was the literal translation for the sentence, the question, what sounds does a rooster make? So I just asked the question, what sound does a rooster make, in Japanese. But then I actually found what I was looking for, and it was the different sounds that animals make. And so we say it with me, cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo. Good job. Anyway, that was very like a children's cartoon. Anyway, so rooster sounds in Japanese, according to thoughtcompany.com, is koki koko. Koki koko. That's what it looks like, I'm pretty sure. Just to throw out some other ones, a mouse sound would be choo choo, choo choo, which is great. A cat would be nya nya, A horse is hi hein. Pig is buh buh. We say oink, which oink sounds dumber. And so does cock-a-doodle-doo. Who we're kidding? Anyway, sheep is me. And then a crow is caw, which that sounds pretty close. Pig, let's see what. A cow is moo, which is very close. We usually say moo, but this is moo. A dog is wan. I don't think my dog says that, but my dog doesn't say woof either. The frog sound is caro, which actually is it sounds a lot more like that than ribbit, I feel like. Caro. Anyway, God, I should probably move on to some more important things. The podcast that CJ brought up, the Nicole Byers podcast, is called Why Won't You Date Me? And she is best friends with Sashir Zameda, and the podcast is about friendship and about like single life and stuff like that. So I check it out. It seems to be everywhere that podcasts can be found: iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, all that. So I'm sure you can track it down if you want to give it a listen. Let's see. Also, I wanted to talk about the Laramie Project for a second, because this play that CJ was in is really important, and it's based off of true events. Laramie, Wyoming is where this like very traumatic murder happened of this 21-year-old boy. His name was Matthew Shepard, and he was murdered because of his sexuality. And it's got to be the most powerful play. I can't wait to catch it myself if I ever can. They did make a movie documentary about the making of the production, where the creators went to visit the citizens of the town over a 2-year period and interview them and kind of get a better idea of the experiences that town went through and everything, and what kind of led up to it. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I just keep thinking about a cat with 7 nipples. If I find a cat with 7 nipples, it's got to be like the equivalent of like a 4-leaf clover, right? Like a cat with an odd amount of nipples. I'm sorry, there's no segue there. I can't stop thinking about it. And at first it made me laugh, but now I'm just going to be checking every cat I see. Anyway, I told you last week that I'd find out what Donnie's Skybox at the Second City is named after, and my awesome Improv for Actors 2 teacher, Rachel Mason, was able to elaborate for me on our break last class, and she said it's named for Don Donatello, who is a much beloved and talented teacher there at Second City. So we've got that answer questioned, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, I want to talk about something here for a minute, which it's going to get weird, I got to be honest. But I went to my pornographic website of choice. I'm sure we all have one. And I did some research, and it was mildly upsetting. I mean, I'm not going to make any judgments or anything, I guess, but I'm just going to lay out the facts. Okay, on page number 1, and this is not the longest page. It's got a lot of featured videos on page number 1 when I went on to do this research. There were 5 videos that mentioned stepsister in the title. 3 that mentioned actual sisters or siblings. 1 stepdaughter video, 1 stepmom, 1 stepson, and 1 daughter video is anyway. There was also a video called Shameless and Outrageous Sex in Family, volume number 10. And this video had 1.7 million views. I'm just trying not to be judgmental right now, but okay, let me just power through this last little bit of facts. So I checked out the tags on this website. And so for the tag stepbrother, there are 42,000 hits on one single website. 42,000 videos with the tag stepbrother. 60,000 videos with this tag stepdaughter and 75,000 tags with stepsister, or like a variation of that, like stepsis or stepsister one word or stepsister both words. I found them and I added them all together. Anyway, there is like a major correction that I have to make too. I think I said something along the lines of, I don't even want to drink alcohol anymore. And it's like, that is a damn lie right there. And that's just completely untrue. I want to drink alcohol often. On bad days, I want to drink alcohol. On great days, I want to drink alcohol. And so saying that I don't was kind of reductive. I don't have the time or energy to go into it right now. But my latest blog post, on September 7th on my website, emmaredmarchrose.com, came out on the anniversary of my 1 year of sobriety, and that kind of elaborates a little bit more on my experiences this past year being sober. So if you're interested, you can check that out. Feel free to send me some feedback, or if anybody's struggling with alcohol abuse, feel free to send me an email at iamemma206@yahoo.com and reach out, man. Also, we definitely have to have CJ back on because I want to hear his mock chicken story. I feel like there was a story there and it got cut off by me, and I got to hear it, CJ. I can't wait. Last but definitely not least, next week's guest will be actress Tara Boldry. I'm so excited to share our interview with you, and also I wanted to let you know that she is in a world premiere play here in Chicago called Shadows of Birds. That's going to be at the Edge Theater on North Broadway here in Chicago. It's going to be playing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. So check that out online. It's going to be amazing, and Tara stars in it. It's really heavy subject matter. It talks about addiction, and I cannot wait to go see it this weekend. I hope you guys get a chance to see it too, and I hope everybody has an awesome week.